This one time, I was at the opening of a shopping centre, the Westfield in Bondi Junction in Sydney, 2003 or 4 or something like that. And I was in a huge sports store, and they had an exhibition where they had this real tough nuts, Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris kung fu guy, and he was working this like punching bag, but it wasn't one of those red ones that hangs from the ceiling. It's one of these black ones that stands on the floor and is like vaguely in the shape of like a man. You might have seen them. There's a big spring, and you can hit the face and like the body and things work the body of this. Basically, it's an enemy, and the guy that was doing the kung fu and the boxing was saying, with this new ass kick 10,000 punching bag, I can visualize my enemy and strike with power. And then at the end, he said, is there any questions? And a guy at the back of the crowd that had gathered yelled out, yeah, does it come in female? And half the crowd laughed and half the crowd gasped because we couldn't believe someone had said it. I'm sure they were joking. But it made me think that someone that had made this punching bag wanted it to look like something, right? Like it couldn't just be one of those red cylindrical things. It was supposed to embody what? It was like an enemy, wasn't it? No one really wants to punch a female in the face anyway, but no one wants to envisage their enemy as being female. It was male, wasn't it? It was always going to be male. And that made me think about something about masculinity. Like we are the bad guy. Even when someone's just making a punching bag to punch in the head, it's always going to be male. And then I thought, this is kind of how we are. Like, we're all annoyed at our bank manager, we're annoyed at politicians, we're annoyed at the guy that didn't give us a job, or we didn't get a pay rise, we're annoyed at something. You need to visualize something. It's easier to hate something, to be angry with something when you can visualize your enemy. The Kung Fu guy was completely right. It's much more fun to punch the thing that you don't like than punch the red cylindrical thing. And with the outbreak of the culture wars, it occurs to me that that's what I am, isn't it? That's what the straight white male is. I don't really think I've ever hurt anyone. I don't think I'm hurting anyone more than a black guy or a gay guy or a girl or a woman. I don't think I'm hurting anyone more, but I know that I have to be positioned as this bad thing. I don't know why. Is it because straight white males made all the rules? Was that the reason? Is it because we employ more people, or that we're more politicians, we're more bank managers? Were we the guys that started the GFC? I don't really know why it is. I don't know why we're to take responsibility for the state of the world and not females. I mean, they were there the whole time as well. I suppose we were the lawmakers. Surely we took female preference into account when we were making the laws. It's all with us though, isn't it? And just like someone in that manufacturing plant that made this boxing bag thing, someone sat down and thought, how should we have the thing that we're going to hit appear? And that's just what this media and everything's doing at the moment. Everyone wants to hate at something. Why not me? And so when they say toxic masculinity, do they really sit down and think, Eureka, I've had an amazing idea, men are toxic and I can prove it? Or are they just saying, look, I'm going to hate the thing anyway, might as well label it something bad, let's label it toxic, when they want to have a shot at white people for whatever reason. I mean, like the idea of white privilege, I mean, you would never say something like female privilege or something like that. That would be sexist, right? The reason that the world lets the idea of white privilege run and get away from just the very narrow places in universities where it was started was because if you're going to come into conflict with something, you might as well visualize your enemy. And it's better to, there's a word for it, demonize your enemy, right? It's easier to hate your enemy. When we go to war, we all say, oh, you wouldn't believe how they treat their women. And that makes us bomb them easier. It's the same thing with us. It occurred to me, made me think of that story. I think I'm right. Anyway, what do you think? Am I wrong? Let me know in the comment section below if I'm wrong. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you later.